Alright, this is how to disassemble a Valkyrie carburetor GL 1500. I'm going to start with the air funnel. There's 4 screws. These are JIS screws. So you should pick up a set of JIS screwdrivers if you're going to be doing this. It's a Japanese standard for screwdrivers. Fits the cross pattern better than a normal Phillips. Give you better torque. Oh, under here, you're going to have one O-ring. Usually just sticks onto that. I'm going to be replacing that. I suggest doing one at a time. That's how I'm doing it. That way there I don't get them mixed up and I can put them all back together. And then go to the next one. Next we're going to remove the starter enrichment valve right here. It is a 10 millimeter. It's just plastic, so it's not on there too tight. There's a spring underneath this. As you can see, that just launched. The spring's right here. I flip the page because we're going by the manual. I'm going to remove the air cutoff valve. Right here, there's one screw holding on the cutoff valve. And there's 3 O-rings on the cutoff valve. You can take off the tube. I'm going to be replacing that with a new tube as well, because these get pretty dry rotted. So in the cutoff valve, you got 3 O-rings. One is down inside of here. It's probably going to be tough to see, but we'll pull it out. Use a toothpick because I figure you're not going to scratch the metal with wood. There it goes. Oh, there's one O-ring. And then the other 2 O-rings are on this little brass nipple here, which just kind of pulls right out. But see, there's two O-rings on that are going to be replaced as well. And we got the vacuum chamber. It's 3 screws holding that on. So these actually do come apart and go back together fairly easy. I mean, it's a little bit intimidating at first when you do your first one. I took a lot of pictures as I did it, just so I could reference back to them. But once you do 5 of them, number 6 flies. This is actually 2 separate pieces. You got the spring, and then you got the plastic piece and the metal piece. And once you take the spring out, the way you're going to remove this diaphragm out of here is you actually take one of the screws from the cap and screw it into the threads. They're there just for removal, no other reason. And you know, this might be a little stuck, so just be careful as you pull up. This one's coming right off. And we just pull it right out. And you're also going to use that screw to pull the needle right out of there. There's a spring and a washer on this needle as well, but the spring usually sticks. You can see it right inside of there, and there goes the needle. It just fell right out, and you can see you got the washer on the needle. Sometimes that washer sticks down inside of there and you gotta get it out. We'll set this stuff aside. And then we're gonna remove the float chamber. So the float chamber has your drain screw on it, and there is a O-ring on that we're gonna replace as well. I'm going to try to do a rebuild video after this one's all clean to show you all the different O-rings we're replacing, but there's the one that's going to come off of there and be replaced with the drain valve. There's 3 screws for the float chamber. Hopefully your carburetor has no gas left in it, or you're going to get some gas coming out of here, but these are empty. You can kind of get a little smell coming from it though. That comes off. All this will come right off in the ultrasonic cleaner. The float comes out by taking this little pin. There's nothing holding it. Just push it out. You can usually grab it with your fingers, but just for video purposes, I'll use these to show you. Just pull that right out. That's all that's holding the float on. And when you take the float up, you're also going to have the float needle that's attached to the float right here. So just make sure you don't lose that. I'm going to be replacing it. And now we can remove the jets. So we got the main jet here, which has the main jet and the jet holder. So we'll unscrew the main jet first. Let me get my hand out of the way of the camera for you. I'm also going to be increasing the size on the jets to 38 and 105 due to my exhaust. The size of the jet holder is a 7mm. Then you got your slow jet here. It's just a flat blade. And then you're going to have your pilot screw here, which is a D-shape tool that you need to remove, and you're going to need to also adjust when you put them back together. And there is also an O-ring on this pilot screw. You're also going to have a spring and a washer as well. So you get the spring, washer, and the O-ring. And that's it. I just was checking the manual. That's why I was quiet for a minute. See, I'm just going step by step, but that's it. That's every single thing that the manual says to take apart before you clean it. So I'm gonna go drop this in my ultrasonic cleaner, and it will come out clean as a whistle, and then I'm gonna put it back together with new O-rings, and I'll try to get a video up of that. Hope this helps.